Hello everyone and welcome to this episode 22 of the CGVinny coffee breaks. I hope you are going well. It's been a while because I've been on trips, work trip. I went to San Francisco at the beginning of last month in May, and then I went to Substance Days London 2 weeks ago. It was great. Both trip was super interesting. I met a lot of people, but I couldn't stream at the same time, but luckily I'm back to streaming work. Actually, this week is a crazy week. It's my sixth. I made two yesterday, two today, and I made one Monday, and I will make two tomorrow. But the second one will be actually public, and it will be at 7 p.m. It's the 10th anniversary of Substance Painter, so we'll make a special live stream with the Substance 3D Painter team at so tomorrow, Thursday 6 at 7 p.m. Paris time. So just adjust to your own time zone, but be there. We'll make a kind of a history recap of the previous years, and as always, we talk a bit about the future. Already a few people in the chat, so say hi in the chat, tell me where are you from. Just checking my microphone because just the session before I forgot to turn it on for a while. So, but here it works. So yeah, if you have any questions during the chat, don't hesitate. I'm here to ask, to answer. Sorry. What else? So today, what are we going to do? We are going to talk about filters and tools in Substance 3D Painter. So as you know, Substance 3D Painter is a great tool quality-wise to paint on your model, to apply material. So the quality is great, but one of the strengths is the fact that it comes with a lot of tools. Just checking the music as well. Doesn't seem to tell me if it's too high, too low. So yes, it comes with a lot of tools actually. You have lots of filters, sticker maker, etc. Smart mask, smart materials, etc. And they are great. And actually, you can create your own with Substance Designer, and that's what we are going to see today. So I'm going to share my screen. Just want to make a small parenthesis. This afternoon, I just created an account on Cara. I don't know if you know this website. It's quite interesting. It's a mix between, let's say, Twitter and ArtStation, Behance. So you have like this kind of view, which is like a thread, but just for artists, or you have like a view which is like this but it's really specialized. It's like a mix between both. I personally like it. I have just created an account, as I said. So if you want to follow me, I'm going to share my link here. So far, I don't have a lot of content, but I think it's a great thing. Especially, I'm not a big fan of Twitter nowadays. I was before, but let's say it's not as interesting as it was. And I'm mostly focusing on my work, art-related content. So maybe this website could be a solution. So who knows? Closing it for now. And let's go into Substance 3D Painter. So as you may know, I'm going to take this guy, going to delete that and create first a folder. And I'm going to just to put a material on it. I have one that you may not have, but you can take whatever you want. This one I like because there is some patterns on it. I made in another context. I'm going to put it in the folder like that. And I'm going to repeat this folder on the full body by instantiating it. It's just as a reference. So how does it work for the filters? Right now, there are different ways. You should have a filter somewhere here. You can filter here, but you can filter by filter here. But the easiest way is just to right click on it and say add filters. And now you can you have a list here. Let me zoom a bit so you can see. So I add the filter, and let's take, for example, all these ones come by default in Substance 3D Painter. So if I click on this one, you see that now we have the effect which is applied here. You can define the intensity like that. You can take like here is the blur directional. That's what we are going to make first because it's an easy example. And here, for example, this is another one. So this is extremely powerful. You can do a lot of stuff. You can really play a lot with all the filters. They are great, but what if you can create your own? I think it can be interesting. So to be clear, today I will explain how it works, how to make some, but I will explain the basics. We won't delve into make a really advanced filter. I just want you to get the basic of how it works and how you can build your own filters. You are quite quiet in the chat today. Generally, people are asking already, saying hi. Don't hesitate to tell me where you watch from. I'm interested by that. So these are the kind of filter we are going to see. You also have, for example, let me add another material like leather skin that I'm going to put below. So you can see it because it's below, but you can, for example, add a mask here. Or I will directly add a smart material like this one. Let me check rust ground, for example. Let's see how it goes. And you see this is create this smart mask, and this is another kind of tool. It's not exactly a filter, it's a generator, and this generator is controlled by this mask editor. So the mask editor is an advanced generator that is capable of using the shape of the object. I'm going to take another one which is maybe more self-explanative, like this one, because it takes the occlusion edge strong here. I'm going to put it on the mask, and you see that now it makes a mask according to the shape of the object, which is extremely interesting. And you can do it also for filters, but that's something that you can do here. It's using the curvature, so I can play with the balance of it to change it. Technically, you can build your kind of tools within Painter. I can go on the mask right now and save as, for example, here I can say, where is it? Clear mask from mask. Here, I can create a smart mask, which is a clever way to save some tools within Painter. Or I can take all my material, for example, and save as smart material as well. These are clever ways, but what I want to focus on today is how within Designer I can build filters and generators for Painter. So that's what we're going to do today. So let me clear the mask completely. Actually, I'm going to remove it. And for now, we're going to leave it this way. And we are going to go directly to Substance Designer here. So in Designer, what we are going to do today is to look at 4 templates. So when I create a new graph, you have all these templates on the left. Generally, I think if you do a material, you are going most of the case to use the metal roughness or maybe the Adobe standard material. Or if you are really hardcore, you start from nothing. But today, what we're going to do is scrolling down and look at this filter, this 4-1, the Painter filter generic, the specific with mesh map, and finally, Painter generator with mesh map. Before to start, and just to be clear, what is the difference between a filter and a generator? So this is true for Designer and Painter and even Sampler. So a filter is something that's going to modify an existing content, which means that it needs an existing content to start from. So if not, it's not a filter. So in the case of, for example, Designer, it can be the previous node. But in the case of Painter, when we use a filter, the previously existing content is the current layer where you are going to apply your filter, meaning that if I apply a filter here, it will change the content of this filter, and this filter only. Not what is below in the layer stack. Okay, so the previously existing content is this, and we are going to apply the filter on this. A generator, the difference is that it does not care about the previously existing content or of your filter or mask. It will just replace it. Of course, you can add some other existing information, but the layer itself, it doesn't not care at all. Just checking. Okay, that's fine. Just checking. Sometime I receive a message. I just want to make sure there is no technical problem. So now let's go back here and let's start with the painter filter generic. I'm going to give a name, my generic filter. You can give whatever you want, but this is a temporary one. The size is not important because it's in relative to parents. It will be in my new package, and I do OK. And you see that the template, is extremely simple. You have one input and one output, and you may ask yourself or ask me, but that's it? I can make a filter with that? Yes, actually, you can make a filter with that. You just have to understand how it works. So how does it work is here the input is representing the full content of your material. So I'm going to create a frame, and I would say my existing layer material information. So it means that this represents all the channels of your layer. Everything that is on your layer is here. And in the middle, what we're going to do is to make some change, that whatever we want. And here it will be the modified material in your layer. So to make it clear once again, receive lots of notification, but that's fine. Nothing, no technical issue. So I'm going to call this my modified layer. What it means in that case is the generic is going to apply the same modification to all the channels of your material that are in the current layer. So what we said is that we want to recreate a directional warp. So you are going to see this is really easy. I'm going to look for the directional blur. Sorry, it could be the warp as well, no problem. But I'm going to take the blur here, and I'm going to plug my input, which once again is the existing layer content. I'm going to plug that to the output, which will be the result of the modification. And we are going to start by this. I'm going to save my package because I'm a serious artist. So you see that I did it before for my previous Spanish lesson. So we say my generic filter. It's okay. Filters, I will put my filters, I will call it, because I will add the other one in the same package. So saving. And here I'm going to expose this. I'm going to expose them later on. I'm just going to put like a small angle here so we can see that. And then I just select the package. I go here and I say, I want to send to Substance 3D Painter. And it's extremely fast because it's a really quick one. My generic filter is here. I'm going to drag and drop it directly on my material in the layer, and you see that it's applied everyone. I have a directional blur. Of course, right now I don't have any parameters, which is an issue that we are going to fix now, and we are going to prepare it a bit more. So going first, selecting the node, right click, expose parameter. I'm exposing both of them. And I'm going also to go at the level of my graph by double clicking on an empty space here. And I'm going to look at the attribute because there is no name. So I'm going to call like my new awesome directional blur. So it has a name. Of course, I can put an image. I may try to find one that is here. Let me check that someone gave me, Kelly gave me, not a long time ago. Where is it? General is here, general is here. Okay. Okay, I will put my face. Look at that. Did it work? Yeah, maybe it didn't. Let's go on the desktop here. Maybe it's a different format. Let me check. It's a WebP, so it doesn't work. Okay, never mind. You get the idea. You can put an image, like for example this one. Create a 3D filter, but of course it can be whatever you want. You can put a description, author, etc., etc. For now, we are going to stick here. Going to export again. And go back here. Here you see that now you have like a preview, the thumbnail. I'm going just to drag and drop on top of it. And now you see that you have the intensity parameter. You can set up the angle, etc., etc. And the name is my awesome new directional with I made a mistake here. So this is the first kind of filter, which are the generic filter. Once again, you can see that what it does, it changes all the channels at once. So if I look at the channel individually, I'm going to push the intensity here. And if I look at all of them, you see that they are all changed one by one. And by the way, you see that here there is no normal map on this material in particular. But you see that, let me check, if I look at the normal map, you see that this one is not changed because it's on the layer below. So, which is interesting. It means that if I change the intensity, we get back to the previous one, but it really shows that it's just applying on the current layer when it's applied, not the layer below. Okay, so we have seen this first type of filter. Let's try another one. I'm going to create a new substance graph, but this time I will take painter filter specific. So the generic is applying the same effect on all the channel of the selected layer, where you apply your filter, but sometimes you want to apply different type of effect on the different channels. Let's say, for example, you want something like is going to age a surface. You may want to say, okay, I want to desaturate the base color, and I want to remove a bit the shininess, so to increase the roughness, which means that in that case, you have to make two specific kind of operation on two different channels. So that's what we have this painter filter specific. And if you look at it right now, you see that you have way more nodes, and you have, for the inputs, the base, the default channels of in Substance Painter. So base color, roughness, metallic, and height. And note that there is no normal map because in a Substance 3D Painter, by default, the height is also generating the normal map. So it's to avoid to double the information. But if you have a specific normal map, you can add it as well. It will work. If you look at each of them, you see that they are properly tagged. So, and mostly and it's really important. I really recommend generally to start from the template, because we tag them and we put the proper names. But if you do it yourself, just make sure to respect properly not only the naming, but also the capitals, if it's high cap or low cap, because if not, it will not work. Something that I noticed here, you see that the identifier is base color, label base color, group material, and most really important, there is a usage, which is the base color. On the height, same thing. So make sure to name and add the proper usage if you want to do it by hand, but the best, in my opinion, if you need like another one, for example, is to refer to the documentation and respecting by heart. I really hope that we can simplify this and we just have to put the usage because they are here, so this way we cannot make a mistake. But as the day of today, you have to be precise with it. If not, it will not work. And generally, if you have a problem and you see, oh, my base color is not modified while it should, it may be because of that. Okay, so as you see, how it works once again is this is my existing base color and this will be my modified one. Roughness, metallic, etc. So I will put my modification here and here, of course. But what about I don't want in my case right now to modify the metallic. And I don't want either to modify the height in this precise example. So first reflex would be to say, oh, that's not a big deal. If you just plug this to that, it will take the input, the existing one, and just apply it to the channel, and that's fine. And it's true, technically, but you don't even need it. If you don't want to modify it, just remove it. So you just avoid the fact an operation, it will be a bit more performant. Same for the height map. I don't need it, so I just remove it. And I will keep just my base color information. So I will put a frame once again, so I have a shortcut. And I will name it existing channel info. Existing, hard to write. Existing channel, oh, wow. Thank you. And here I will put another frame, new channels. Okay, so this way it's clear. I can change this. Don't forget, if you hold Shift right now, you can resize while moving a node, which is quite cool. So first one, we say we want to desaturate. Once again, it's not made to be an advanced final filter. It's just for you to understand how it works. You will have better idea in the future. I will make some more advanced one, I think, but today we are here to define the theory, the base. But in that case, as I want to desaturate the base color, I'm going to use a HSL, hue saturation lightness. I'm going to plug it here. So now this will modify. By default, it does not, but I'm going to put a value in the saturation of 0.45. It's quite violent. I'm not a big fan of this node because it's extremely violent in the settings, but for today, that's fine. And I'm going to expose that as well so the user can change it. I'm also going, just for the example, to expose the hue, the color, so we get a better idea. So right click, expose parameter, hue saturation. I won't even take the time to rename them, it will be fine. And for the roughness, what I'm going to do, I want to increase it a bit by default. So I'm going to use, there are different ways, but I'm going to use an histogram scan that will make the job. By default, the default neutral value is 0.5 for the position. So as I want to increase, I'm going to put 0.75, but once again, I'm going to expose this one. So you don't see it on the screen here, but I'm just selecting expose as new parameter, I think, or and I'm going to call it roughness. Increase what? Roughness offset. I do okay. So I have now 3 parameters, 2 for this one and 2 for this one. I'm going to double click to see the name here. Your identifier, substance graph, label. Age me like those French artists. I cannot think of a better name. Once again, something that is defined for you by default in the templates, but which is really important, is this. In the attributes here, you see that the type is filter. So whether it is for sampler or painter, it's really important to set it to filter. If not, you may have some unwanted result. Why? Because a substance file can contain many types of information. It can be a material, of course, but also decal, an atlas, even a light. So you have to explain to painter when he imports this substance files what it has to do with it. So that's why in our case it's a filter. So it's really important to define it. And what else? For the rest, we are good. Once again, if you want to add your name, description, etc., you can. On my case, I'm just going to export again, open Painter, and I have my Age Me like those French artists that I'm going to drag and drop on my material here. And you see that now the color has changed a bit. If you look, we have lost. I'm going to, and most important, we have some parameters, so I can change the saturation. I can even boost it in that case, so it's just an HSL. You can change the color if you want. And you can change also the roughness. So let's try to get something here. Of course, I removed a lot, but if I change, you see that I change the roughness of it. So if we manage to create like this parameter. And as you can see, if I look by channel, like see like something like this, the base color is affected. The metallic is not affected. The roughness is affected. And normal map is not. So, and this one is the height map, it's not affected either. So you really see that when you make a painter filter specific, you can really act by channel, which is more powerful. So by default, when you think about the effects you want to make, you should say, okay, this is an effect I want to apply on the full material, like a blur or a warp, for example, make a generic. But if you have some tweaking per channel, take the specific template. Okay, nice. We made some cool stuff. I'm going to remove this one. We have the generic, the specific, and now one of the strengths of Painter and of the substance is, as you know, we can take the shape into consideration of our object. But what you have to know is that the Substance engine does not really see or interpret the 3D object. It doesn't see it, it doesn't handle it. Of course, we display it for you, but what the Substance engine is treating are textures, it's images. So, as you know, we found a way which is to bake the map. We have like different maps, which are the world space normal map, the ID map, the ambient occlusion, curvature, etc. And what you have to think about these maps is that they are used by a filter, for example, or a mask to generate the effect. For example, if I'm taking once again, we are going to go to the mask, smart mask here, and I put a mask like, let's take this one, and I drag and drop it in my material. You see that it creates a mask that is really visible here, that is taking in account the shape. And if you look at this generator here, and you go down, you see that at the bottom, it's actually using these mesh maps to drive the effect. So that's what we're going to do. So this is possible for for filters and generators, and even for materials. In some case, I think we call it Matefix or something like that. Not even sure. But we want, and there is this possibility to take the shape in consideration by using this technical map. So to make it fast, I'm going to take the first one here, the normal map. In that case, not really useful because there was not any high-res mesh, but let's look at the world space and at the world space normal map, which is extremely useful because it's storing the information of vector of each face to know in which direction they are pointing at. So for example, what I mean is here it's pointing this way, here this way, here this way. It's the normals of each face. In which direction does it point. Why is it cool? Because, for example, so how it's stored, sorry. First, in the red channel, it goes from right of the object to left. So the more it's pointing left, the more red you will have. If you look for the blue channel, it goes from back to front. So back, there is no blue, and front, there is lots of blue. So that. And finally, red is it pointing up or down. So if you look from top, there is lots of red, of course, because it's pointing up. And here at the bottom, there is no red, no green, sorry, at all. And this is, okay, this is technical like this, but if you think about it, it means that when you want to put snow or dust on an object, well, generally, if there is a regular gravity, it will stay on top of it in the faces that are pointing up, which means that the green channel of this workspace is really cool, really useful. If you look at the next one, ID map, you can make some tools or filters that will, or even material generator that will take in account this mask and put, like, for example, specific material in this color, specific material in this color, etc. Ambient occlusion is really great if you want to make some masks that will to put some dust into the cracks and the interstices like this. That's perfect. So the closer between the surfaces, the darker. Curvature is great to isolate, well, the edges of any map. So like this kind of convex edges will be white, flat surface will be gray, and dark will be black. Although for this dark one, I would prefer the ambient occlusion. There is way more granularity in the information. Oops, sorry. This one. Position is great as well because it shows, once again, it used the RGB channel to store the position of each point in the space. So it means, like, for example, in the red channel, it goes from right to left. So the more on the left, the more red. Top to bottom to top will be the green channel. So you see that at the top you have a lot of green. And back to back to front, you have the blue channel. So the more you go to the front, the more you have. Once again, this is great, for example, if you want to put some effects, some dust or humidity that start from the bottom, you can use the green channel of the position. That would be a good start, for example. Finally, you have the thickness, which is like how it works. It projects rays from inside the mesh, and the closer are the mesh, the darker it will be. So if you want to make, like, fake some surface or candle effect, that would be an interesting one. Sorry, and I think we made the turn. This one is the bent normal map, which is a bit more specific. I never used it for filters, but why not? Okay, so how do we do right now in, remove this mask, how do we do in Designer? So once again, we have, like, this generic filter that we have here. We have the specific one that we have made with 2 channels, and if we look at another substance graph like the splinter specific with mesh map, we are going to give a name, my super specific. I should patent this name, they are so awesome. And here, more information, but you see that the start is starting exactly like the previous one. You have, like, the different channels informations, the modified ones, and below you have something with, there is like a missing letter here. You have, like, all the information, all the mesh map that I've just shown you. So ambient occlusion, curvature, thickness, etc. Which means that we can use these ones, and they will be detected in Painter to drive an effect. So let's imagine, for example, I want to make, like, a metal which is going to invade your object starting from the bottom of the object. So I told you a bit before, in that case, I would use the green channel of the position, which gave me the vertical position. So using this, I should be able to make it. So here I'm going to look at that. I'm going to look for the position. Position is here. I'm going to separate. And the other ones for this example, maybe in a more advanced, I would mix with the ambient occlusion or the curvature, I don't know. But for this particular case, let's forget them. I'm just going to use the position. But I will use all of this because, as I said, I want to replace the material by a new one starting from the bottom. So this one will be my base, my layer info. Here, I'm going to move that here. And in that case, I'm going just to use a base material, nothing complex. We are going to define it. So I right click, put it here to see how it looks. Maybe I'm going to take another object like the round cylinder, so I see better the reflection. And I'm going to make something shiny, like it's I'm on it, yes. So material preset. No, I'm not going to take a preset. I'm going to change something shiny, like maybe not that much, but like that. I'm going to, there is a grunge amount. I'm going to add a bit of grunge, maybe. I'm going to change the color to something like dark, like this, darker. And let's say I'm happy with the material. That's what I want. That's what will invade my poor matte. And I want, as I said, to use it as the position. So generally, when you want to build a mask, you can start by importing a filter based on the 3D shape. You can start by importing an object, for example, and bake the map here and just plug them so you get a preview. But in my case, it would be a vertical effect. So I'm just going temporarily to use a gradient linear, like this one. So which, let's say it's my 2D position map, and it will be the green channel. And here I know for my position, as I say, that I want to use the green channel. So I'm going to use an RGBA split node, which will split each channel independently. So what I will need afterwards will be this green channel here that I will represent by this at the moment. So I put it here and we will delete it and replug properly after. So this is my position map, the green channel of my position map that I will use as a mask. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a material blend. A material blend, which is here. And you see that it comes with a lot of input and output, and most of them, well, some of them are completely useless in my case, because let's not forget I have just 4 input and 4 outputs. So I don't need the diffuse, I don't need the normal, I don't need the specular, neither the glossiness, roughness, metallic, I need them, and height, I need them. So I just check 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm good. I'm going to plug my material here. I'm just going to put myself in material mode, so it's here, you can change like this, and here I'm going to plug that as well. You see that by default it finds it because it's properly tagged here and here. So it finds directly where to plug it. Just have to go over the material blend node and it works. I'm going to put that here. And just right now, as there is no input, everything is black. So to see a bit more, I'm going to use a uniform. It's just for the time of working and defining my stuff. And I'm going to put the base color here. So this way, right now, I'm going to drag and drop this material. Oh, well, actually, I can plug that here. I'm going to get back to material. I'm going to view output in 3D view. And at the moment, as there is no mask, this is the top material. So my my alien, let's call it alien metal. Like that, which is over everything. So I'm just going to take my position map, my fake position map here, and you see that I have my gradient like this. I'm going to work a bit on it. Nothing crazy, once again, this is not the topic of today. I'm going to use an histogram scan non-uniform, which is a great node to make like some organic transition. I'm going to put my gradient here, and we are going to use a noise, whatever noise we like. Grudging paint, blah blah blah. Let's take like the leak paint, like it's really organic, this one. And I'm going to plug that here and there. Let's see, I think it's better this way, but sometimes, depending on the combination, I have nice surprises. So first of all, I'm going to, you see that I have to invert, because here it starts from top and it goes to bottom. Just go this way. This one, yeah, so first, here I'm going to put an invert. Oh, okay, I have also to put that here. So we see better what's going on. Invert. Grayscale. Okay, and let's see how it goes. So now, if I go the position from 0, this is my full material file, and then if I move that, it goes up and up, but not exactly the way I want. So, okay, this may be better. So now it's really start from top and invade from bottom, sorry, and invade to top. So it seems to work. Let's say we like that. So I'm going to put 0.4 by default, like that. I'm going to expose this parameter here, the position. So expose as new graph input. I will call it invasion. Metal invasion. And I'm going to replug stuff properly, so we have the proper inputs, like the position, so the green channel of the position here. So of course it breaks the effect in Designer, and the base color here. Double clicking here to give a name, metal invasion, I will call it. Once again, you can populate everything, but I should be good. I have one parameter, which is more than enough for now. We select here, I export to Painter. We are good. I'm going to clear that for now. And I'm going to add, so it's metal invasion. This is this one. I'm putting it on it, and let's see if it works. Okay, it seems to work. What we can say first, we have the parameter, and if I move, yeah, it moved from bottom to top, which is what we want. What we can notice as well is that we have the image input here, which is the position. So we managed to auto plug the position here. That's the input, which is properly tagged, which make this happen. And with this parameter, we managed to do that. So yeah, it's job done for this one. We can make a filter based on the mesh maps of our object. And once again, it's important, of course, to have the map baked, because if you do this, let's say, for example, it's not, if you don't have any map, it will just missing here. And here you see that the effect is a bit everywhere. And the parameter, yes, it works, but you don't have, it works at all the places at the same time, which is not what we want. That's one of the common mistakes that beginners do, and even intermediate in Painter. Sometimes they forget to bake the maps, and they say, oh, I don't understand, I do the same thing that the tutorial, and I don't have the same effect. This is because of that. Finally, we have seen the filters that create map, that create content based on what already existing on the layer. Now we're going to see the generator, how to make a generator which will create, in our case, a black and white map, which is generally used as a mask. So I noticed a bug last time that I thought it was because I was using a blending node and some stuff like that, and it may be part of the reason. But if I create a generator within a package where there are already filters, or maybe because it's not unique, it creates me a bug. So I'm going to create a new package first, then I'm going to save, and I will call it my my generator, because if each time I try to export within the first one plus a generator, I had an issue. So my generator, and I'm going in this generator to create a new substance graph, but this one, it will be the painter generator. Here we go. So once again, a generator does not care about the content of your layer or mask. It will overwrite it. That's why generally we don't use that much generator for the material, and it's more for the mask. We use it to generate a specific mask. It doesn't mean that it cares about anything, because you can use the mesh map information. And in this template, you see that you have one output, which will be our grayscale image, and a bunch of inputs, which are once again our mesh maps. And I'm going to make a test because I don't know if it was first. Let's give it a name. We are going to call it my awesome generator, and just to see if we have a bug or not. What I want to see, as I said, that it does not care about the content, and what I want to do is just to take a noise like that, grunge leak, and put it this way to see if I have an error or not. Substance graph, I don't have any name. Attribute is here. My awesome generator. You see also that by default you have a lot of exposed parameter here, because they are in group, grunge, AO, intensity. You may not need them, so you may delete most of them. That's what I'm going to do for now. I don't need them. Just have to double check with the team why there is all this parameter exposed. But for now, you see that I don't even use the parameters here. I'm just plugging a grunge in the output, and let's try. Just want to see if it works or not. So, sorry, I'm just selecting the second one. I have to say send to painter. Seems to work. My awesome generator is here. And now what I'm going to do, let's remove my first filter, and I'm going to drag and drop this on the mask this time here. Actually, I'm going just to show you what happens if I put it here. It replaces the content of that you have here, and actually it replaces it. As you can see, it's a bit funky because it replaces it on every channel. If I'm not wrong, if I look C, you see that it creates like some crazy stuff. So that's definitely not what you want to do. What you want to do is to drag and drop it on the mask channel here. And now I have like a mask. If I look at it, you see that it just takes. So the mask is everywhere, but the preview is something we may want to improve. It's just seen on the currently active texture set. You see that it just takes the mask and the noise, and it just outputs it. So generator replaces everything. Now we are going to make this a bit more interesting. Going here, and we are going to say, okay, in my case, what I would like to do first is to mix like the ambient occlusion with the curvature, let's say, for example. So I can do a blend node, do that, and mix them together. But the issue with the curvature is that it's extremely gray. So it means gray is a color which is medium, so it will be half transparent. So I may want before that to do something here. Let's think about that. Let's take a histogram, scan like this, and I'm going to expose both, put that to 0.5 and expose both parameters and contrast to 0.5 as well, maybe more 0.8. But I'm going to expose these two parameters. Okay, position, contrast, it's fine. And here the blend node, I'm going to put it to multiply. I don't know what will be the result. We're going to see. Just doing this and export again. Works. We have a preview of it. It may be too gray, but once again, we are here to test. So let's test. I can put it directly here if I want on top. And it gives something. Once again, if I look at the map, I'll click on the mesh, you see that we have something like that. Now let's see the parameter. You see that as it was in the middle, if I put it here, it gives a better mask, and I can change the contrast and change the value of the mask this way, which gives something interesting as well. So this way I can play and get something that I like or not. Maybe I need more contrast. I want something extremely contrasty. And playing with that, I have created a generator that is generating for me a mesh that is starting from now. I can change that. I can say maybe I want to go here, and instead of taking... so this is something that you could already do. Of course, it's just once again to show you how it works. I can use the position maybe. So if I take the position here, position once again the green channel, or you know what, we are going to take another one. So RGBA split. Let's say I want from left to right, for example, a mask from left to right. I don't know. So let's take the red one, histogram scan, and this time I will just go put that here. This one is useless. Exporting again. And let's see if we get something. Here we see that there is something left to right. Oops, sorry, I have to delete. Okay, so now I have left to right, and as I give my histogram scan, I can change the position and think about making something that makes more sense. Hey Chris, so there is Jose. I'm just watching the chat. Sorry, have two stuff. Hola CGVinny, Jose Castillo. Hola señor. I'm following from Panama City, Panama. Interesting tutorial. Thank you. Keep doing it. No problem. I will. And you have the Spanish version as well if you want. And hey Chris, who is watching from Saint Louis. Hope you like the content. Well, we are almost at the end. So here you see that now my mask, this is a mask once again that I'm creating, and I can control the position and the contrast in that case. So I hope it makes sense. We have covered everything that I wanted to show. So to summarize, once again, you have different kind of content. Let me check that. I have to see. Yeah, something we can improve. Yeah, imported content. Have to see how to create the U. No, it wasn't like this. Anyway, we have created 4 types of content. We have seen how to create a generic filter. It's a filter that will affect all the channels of your layers at once. So it's great if you want to make a warp, a blur, something that where everything has to behave the same on each channel. Then we have seen the specific filters. The specific filters are able to treat each channel of your current layer independently. So I used an example where I wanted to desaturate the base color and increase the roughness. That's an example between others. Once again, you may have some different ideas. We have seen how to make a specific filter that will take in account the mesh maps. So we have used one which we're using the position of it. so that which is interesting as well. But you can use ambient occlusion, curvature, any type of effect that will have to take the shape in consideration. And then we have done the same for a generator, which is not exactly a filter. It's just generating a content, a black and white image that you can use, for example, to generate a mask. And once again, in that case, we have it here. It takes the right channel, the red channel of the position map to make this kind of vertical left-right mask. If you have any question, that's a right time. I'm going to put to the chat view. Saint Louis. Oh no, I'm confunding with Louisville. If you can write in which state it is, I'm curious. So I'm not seeing any question at the moment. Also, if you have some ideas of future tutorial topics that you want me to treat, that will be with pleasure. So just write it to me. You can find me online as well. I think in the description you will have my links. As I said at the beginning, I just joined also Cara, a new social network which is for artists, which is quite cool. It seems cool, it's new, but once again, it's more the people that makes the network than any features. So I really hope it will there will be some traction and people will be here. But if not, I'm on x.com, I am on LinkedIn, I am on Discord, I'm on YouTube, of course, so you can write a comment. I don't see any comment for this one, so let me share my face. Okay, so that's it for this week. I hope you liked this tutorial, this live stream about how to make filters within 4 Substance 3D Painter. I'm going to continue making some tutorials, so don't hesitate to subscribe as always, to like this video. You know how it works. The more you like, the better the algorithm retain the video for next viewer, and it's easier to be discovered, so it's important. Thanks again. We see each other in 2 weeks, and meanwhile, have a great day. Ciao.